This is the way credit cards used to work.
Americans are drowning in credit card debt. You don't believe me? Check out this graph. Well, what we're going to talk about today is exactly how you can leverage credit cards not to be a detriment and a disaster, but rather an amazing tool in the financial toolbox to save you money today and in the long term. If we hadn't had a chance to meet, my name's Luke Turner. I am the co-founder of Moment Private Wealth. We help athletes and entrepreneurs make smarter decisions with their money. Let's dive into today's topic, which is going to be around credit cards and how you should be utilizing them. Today's topic is going to be all around credit cards and everything that you need to know about them. And what are we going to cover? Number one, we're going to be talking about what is a credit card and when should you be utilizing it. Number two is going to be how can you avoid the boat sinkers that credit cards typically will suck consumers into. And then number three, how do we ensure that from a long-term perspective, we're choosing the right credit cards to get the most amount of benefit? So let's dive into our first bullet point here, which is all about what are credit cards and when should you use them. Well, let's rewind the clock to think back to the original credit card. Believe it or not, when credit cards first came out, nobody thought that they were going to be a big thing. There was a time where every single time that you walked into a restaurant, you wanted to pay with your credit card, the restaurant actually had to dial up the credit card company and ask them for their approval. And then they'd give you a receipt, they'd write it down. It was a crazy, crazy time. Check out this clip right here that talks all about that.
First, the credit card is swished through. Then the machine reads the numbers, asks how much was lunch. Then it calls the banks, checks your limit, then zaps back an authorization.
So now that we've learned a little bit more about how credit cards actually were formed, what is the tool that they were actually intended for? Well, really the intention was, let's give Americans an easier way to be able to make transactions for goods and services without being in a situation we have to carry around cash. And it was a great idea. But the way that I want you to be thinking about what a credit card is changing that framing from a credit card to a deferred payment card. Okay, so there's a big difference there. A credit card means that we are putting something on credit that we don't have to pay back in the future. Whereas a deferred payment card, that's where we're putting something on a credit card with the intent that we're just deferring the payment until when the payment is due, which is typically 30 days after you swipe that credit card. Okay, that brings us to the second point, which is how do we not fall into the trap that, well, fortunately, many Alaskans are falling into with the highest amount of credit card debt. And this goes back to some of the basic principles around personal finance. And when we think about this, we need to make sure that we understand how much money are we making and how much money are we spending. Seems like a really basic concept, but if I asked you today, how much money did you spend last month? Would you be able to give me an answer in under 60 seconds? Chances are 9 out of 10 people that are watching this video wouldn't be able to give me that answer. And that's something very important to be considering whenever you're utilizing a credit card, because the number one way that people get into trouble with credit cards is exactly that. They start swiping a credit card with good intent, intending to pay it off in the future, but they realize, and they don't realize before it's too late, that as that money continues to get piled up on that credit card, their income is not going to be able to support it. So what is a really great tool to be able to make sure that you're protecting yourself from that trap? I would highly recommend Monarch Money. Monarch Money is a great app, a great tool. I use it in my own personal life where you can very easily be able to see how much money am I making, how much money went to taxes, how much money am I spending, and it gives you a great framework and roadmap for you to work off of to not over leverage yourself from a spending perspective. So if you don't know where to start with Monarch Money and make sure you know how much you are spending. And then lastly, the third piece, which is how do we choose what credit card we should utilize? And this really goes around the credit card point hacking. There's tons of videos around credit cards, hacking, how do we leverage points? And what I would encourage you to be thinking about is whenever we're thinking about a credit card, we need to be mindful of our intent, okay? We do not want to just put money on credit card just to get points. If we can't handle the credit card, we're overspending, don't try to just rack up points to get yourself a free flight. The reality is most people are doing that and it's a detriment to their financial situation. But if you're looking for a way to determine, what is the best credit card for me? Here's a couple of things that you should be thinking about. Number one is, where do I spend the majority of my money? Am I spending it on travel? Am I spending it on going out to eat? Am I spending it on groceries? Am I spending it on electronics? Am I spending it on other stores that I shop at a lot? All those are going to be determining factors around what is the best credit card for you. And for me personally, I love the Chase Reserve card. It does everything that I need. And for me, living in St. Louis, Missouri, Southwest Airlines is a big hub. So it gives me a great opportunity to be able to transfer points directly from Chase over to Southwest. And it saves me a ton of money when it comes to flights for me and my family of 5. I'm not cheap going out there flying around. So what I would encourage you to do is check out in the link below. I have a description to one of my favorite resources as it relates to credit card hacking. And you can read all about the different credit cards, the different options, and what card might be best for you. As we wrap up today, one ask for you is that if you enjoyed this video, if you watched this video all the way through, you're still watching right now, please subscribe to the channel below. We're going to be putting out more and more content just like this around personal finance, and we would love for you to be following along with us. Thanks.